Trustees. We'll begin this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Steve, would you like to begin the roll call number?
Good evening, Steve Corona from the 5th District.
Good evening, Glenna Yale from the 2nd District.
Tom Smith, 3rd District.
Ann Duff, District at Large.
Jordan Lebemoth, the 4th District.
And I'm Julie Hollingsworth, elected from District 1. Maria Norman is not with us tonight because she is taking a test, and she is still, since she's a grad student. To my far left is the clerk of the board, Barb Trout. Good evening. And our superintendent, Dr. Wendy Robinson.
Good evening.
Good evening. So first on the agenda we have 3 recognitions tonight. And Steve, why don't you take Unified State Track and Field?
Thank you. It's recommended that the board recognize Northside High School Unified Track and Field students who placed 2nd at the State Unified Track and Field Finals just a couple of weeks ago. A little background about this event, and I'm sure that most people are aware of the other event, but this is the Unified Track and Field, which is a partnership of the Indiana High School Athletic Association and Special Olympics Indiana. It offers a unique and quality experience of sports training and competition in an inclusive environment. Students with and without disabilities collectively represent their high school, as our students did at North. And this year marked the 4th State Track and Field Finals, which brought together the 10 best unified teams in the state to compete. The North Side team took 2nd place, and this is the first time the team has gone to the state finals. And I see a very proud principal there with team members. Some of them may not be here because of other commitments, but we're going to announce every member's name for at least that recognition. So as I call your name, students, would you please come forward, and you will be greeted by Superintendent Dr. Wendy Robinson. Tristan Davis.
I think we
Oh.
had a lot of parents who stayed out.
Okay.
Sure, come on in.
Please have the parents come in. I know there were a lot of parents. Hold on a second, babe.
Come on in, sit down. And when I was going to say, when every that's why I was wondering. When every student has been recognized and they're all up here in a group, you'll have plenty of time to take pictures.
Thank you, Mr. Cronin. Excuse me.
Okay. Let me start again, beginning with Tristan Davis.
You started twice, didn't you?
Samantha Darrowin. I hope I pronounced that last name right. Okay. Jacob Mashburn. Jacob Gruber. Mozar Pois. Wonderful medallions some of the athletes are wearing. Sandra Wasson. Miles Walker. Kyla Jackson. Ning Tu. Gabe Bartle. Michelle Bonilla. Bailey Nevels. Caitlin Rigler, Preston McElroy, Jamie Hickey, Elena Argerbright, Janiyah Winker, and Ellie, oh, there they are. Sorry for going so quickly. Let me make sure I got everybody.
Ally Sork.
And Ellie Sork. They, students, athletes are accompanied by several other individuals, Elizabeth Sherman, an assistant coach, Tyler Kavanaugh, coach, Kirk Dorman, the athletic director, and Principal David West.
I'll get in the back, though. I don't want to be in front of you.
And we invite parents and friends to get their best photo. Don't be shy. Students will stand here until you get that photo. Congratulations again.
Congratulations. What a great program. I don't know if Tyler or somebody, if you want to just say anything about the program, or are you shy? It's up to you.
One
The
thing
mic
about our
or
program, which is
Mr. West.
wonderful, is our unified team and our Champions Together team raised over $1,500 this year as a donation to the Special Olympics. They did a walkathon in the fall, and it actually is all of our athletes. They take part in the program, so
That's cool.
great experience.
That's really a great program.
It's
And
nice
has
to be a part
Northside
of it.
been involved since the inception? Is this like the
Yeah,
fourth year,
it actually
or-
started with a student 6 years ago before the program, the
Okay.
IHSA adopted it. She was one of the founders of it, so
Really?
yeah.
Wow,
I have
that's
my
awesome.
seniors graduating this year, the president, the vice president, but we did find 2 freshmen to kind of take the mantle for the next few years, so
Great, great. Wow, what a great program.
thank you.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you very much.
Good job.
Okay, next we have the Indiana State School Music Association All Music Awards. Tom, take it away.
Thank you. It is recommended that the board recognize the Northrop and Snyder High School bands for receiving the Indiana State School Music Association All Music Award for 2016-2017. The Indiana School Music Association All Music Award is designed to recognize well-rounded school music programs. To qualify for the All Music Award, the group must earn a gold rating at every level in competition. The Northrop and Snyder bands were selected for the 2016-17 honor and will be presented with a special banner to display in recognition of their achievement. Representing the bands tonight are the school's drum majors. I'm going to begin first with Northrop High School, and I'll call the names and they can come forward. We have Kayla Carver. April Pape. Alvaro Castillo. And the band director, Robert Wilson. And Northrop President Jason Witzegruder. He's not here. All right, so come up and get your pictures taken.
So I'm curious, who's a senior? Who's a senior? Senior, all seniors? Okay, very
All
good.
right.
And you're reloading, I hope.
All right, next
See
we
you
will,
next year.
next we will honor the students from Snyder High School. First is Brandon Crabble. Next is Emily Stetka. Next is Cheyenne Luffman. And Kevin Clay is the band director at Snyder. And if she's here, the principal, Nicole Chisley.
Congratulations.
This group will be back.
Okay, next we have the State Track and Field Awards. And it's recommended that the board recognize Northrop, Snyder, and Wayne students who placed in the top 10 at the State Track and Field Finals in June. The Indiana High School Athletic Association State Track and Field Championship was held June 2nd and 3rd in Bloomington. Track teams from across the state competed. Fort Wayne Community Schools had top 10 finishers from Northrop, Snyder, and Wayne High Schools. Shaton, is it Shaton or Shatton? Shatan Vaughn, a junior from Northrop, to the state championship in the 300 hurdles. And so, come forward as your name is read. So you must be Shatan. Congratulations. Shatan was the state champion in 300 hurdles, runner-up in the 110 hurdles, 10th place in the 4x400 relay, and Northrop as a team finished in 5th place. Jack Brokaw, 3rd place 4x800 relay, 10th place 4x400 relay. Nick Derrickson, 3rd place 4x800 relay. Jalen Royal, 3rd place 4x800 relay, 4th place 800 meters, 10th place 4x400 relay. Tristan Auer, 3rd place 4x800 relay. Tyler Kleiben, 10th place 4x400 relay. Khaira Muhammad, 3rd place 4x400 relay, 7th place 300 hurdles, 8th place long jump, and the Northrop girls team finished in 6th place. Brianna Phillips, 3rd place 4x400 relay, 5th place 100 hurdles, 5th place 400 meters. Alicia Tenney Williams, 5th place shot put. Dylan Kirkwood, 3rd place 4x400 relay, 8th place 300 hurdles. And Jodisi Irby, 4x400 relay. And we have several coaches. Fred Blanks, head coach for the boys. Barry Peterson, coach. And let me just mention that Barry, I think, is finally retiring, although he has done it twice before. And am I correct? This is 50 years coaching now?
Come this way.
That is awesome. Awesome,
We have to
awesome.
have a couple of lines here. All right.
Keith Scott, coach. Sam Bird, coach. Charles Whitfield, coach. And then on the girls' side, head coach Terry Milton. Spencer Collins, coach. Alexis Scott, coach. Katie Etzkorn, coach. Christine Bird, coach. Joseph Birch, coach. Geez, how many you got? Latrice, it takes a village, right? Latrice Bolton, coach. And athletic director at Northrop, Robert Schenk. Principal at Northrop, Jason Witzegruder.
And this is Jodeci.
Jodeci, my apologies, Jodeci.
Can you get them all in the picture?
That's Snyder.
Oh my goodness, there are a bunch of them.
Stand right here.
Mr. Scott.
Gentlemen, if you want to be seen, you can come kneel on the ground. Come on.
Hey, Keith.
Where'd you go? Are you ready? Parents, this is your fault. Don't move. Your parents are going to be here. All right, parents, get in the middle and be a picture. Mr. Peterson, you didn't let me behave this way. Did you get a picture, man? Don't let your child. Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, good. There you go.
Hug me and with you.
I gotta, get my purse.
My wife's going back.
You went to law school, Joe? Really?
Wife's
It's
going
okay.
Okay, if I may,
We still flying every year, 100 pounds across.
I have to say something about Mr. Peterson. I graduated from Central High School in 1969, and one of the people who actually controlled my life is Mr. Peterson. And so when you say he's going to retire, he can't do that. I know he has a family, I know he has a life he wants outside of Fort Wayne Community Schools, but when you think about dedication, when you think about somebody that loves what he does, and is someone that students want to do well because of him, I'm just very glad he was here this evening so I could say this about him. But this is one of those folks at Central High School that impacted me and how I think about things, and I just always appreciate him.
Well, that's an amazing legacy.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. He did himself.
50 years of
Barry-
influencing
Barry,
students.
before you go,
Amazing.
just wanted to let you know that I've got a first-grade grandson
Hey.
who is running the 800 in New Jersey, and his best time was 3 minutes flat.
That's pretty good.
So we may come to you for some advice.
Special
on
coaching.
Always
the
available for that.
program. Good to see you.
Peterson. And from Snyder High School,
We still have more.
you're not done.
Two more schools.
I was gonna go sit down and cry, but I'll.
From Snyder High School, Jesse Hamlin finished in 8th place in the 1600 meter. Head coach Derek Brinkley. Distance coach Brad Altavote. And athletic director Steve Zembo. Principal Nicole Chisley. Come on up and get a good picture. And from Wayne High School, Zach Daniels finished 7th place in the 300-meter hurdles. Craig Young finished 9th place in the 100 meters. And Anise Phillips, 6th place in the, okay, now this says 110 meters. Is that the hurdles?
She's just good, she was all over.
The 100-meter hurdles?
Yeah.
Okay. And did I pronounce your name correctly?
Okay, we'll give you a real one that has the right name.
Head coach Tommy Hogan, hurdles coach Mark Kamak. Kamak? Any relation?
That's my big brother.
Will you claim him? You claim each other? Those pictures aren't on the wall for nothing.
Yeah, well.
Brian Gill, coach. Roy Rapine, coach. Derek Moore, coach. Athletic director Gary Raber. And, hi, Gary.
Hi.
And principal John Hauser.
I get in the picture. Can I take this back? Because I know you're gonna frame
Now you're done.
All right. Now I can cry.
Okay, that brings us to our consent agenda, and those are items that come to us every meeting. They include the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on May 22nd. They include vouchers and payroll, and the vouchers, of course, are held for like a period somewhere. Where are they held?
Kathy, where are your vouchers held?
For 7 years, all electronically? I mean, they're not like in file boxes somewhere, are they? Because we hold them for 7 years, right? In
No,
case
yeah.
anybody wants to
Yeah,
review them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, the documentation is, yeah, the invoice.
Okay,
is
all
there.
filed.
It's on file.
Filed away, okay.
Yep.
Good to know. And the personnel report. And Dr. Robinson, I would imagine are there some items on the personnel report you wanted to mention, or?
Most of these are internal moves, so I didn't have
Okay.
any from outside the district, so not at this
Okay,
time.
just a lot of assistant principal assignments, correct?
Right, and there's been some reorg in special ed, so Tracy has a couple of folks, but they're internal people, so.
Okay,
Madam Chair, I'd move approval of the 3 items under the consent agenda.
Second.
thanks, Steve, thanks, Jordan. No questions or comments, or, okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, boom. No old business. New business, we have laptop computers. It's recommended that the board approve the purchase of 300 Lenovo laptop computers from Process of Indianapolis and 15 laptop computers from Hewlett-Packard Direct of Omaha, Nebraska for $276,639 and some change. Tagging and imaging services are included in the purchase price from Process for all 315 laptops, and 315 laptop cases are included in the purchase price from Hewlett-Packard. The information we've been given, the 300 Lenovo laptops will replace those currently utilized by special education teachers and other positions, and the 15 HP laptops will replace those currently used by school psychologists. Indiana law does not require public bidding for purchases made at or below general services pricing. Both Prosus and Hewlett-Packard extended pricing below GSA pricing. Blah, blah, blah. These computers will be purchased on a 48-month lease purchase agreement with a $1 buyout option at the end of the lease at a 2.16 interest rate through PNC Equipment Finance. The lease will consist of 4 annual payments of $69,159.86. At the end of the lease, Fort Wayne Community School will own the laptops, and this purchase is funded within the Special Education Federal Grant. Jack Bird is available, yep, to answer any questions. You have a motion? Second?
I move approval.
Second.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Steve. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That brings us to the bid recommendation for an award made to the lowest responsible and responsive bidders, meeting specifications and quality standards for food for the next school year. From Commercial Food Service in Indianapolis, $372,690.85. From Gordon Food Service out of Grand Rapids, $2,170,382.42. And Stan's Food Service from South Bend, $1,464,439.45, for a total of $4,007,512.72. And there's, you've got the information in front of you for the 450 food items to be used in the school lunch program next year at both the Nutrition Center and our schools. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thanks, Lena.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. Any questions? Okay, we'll go easy on you, Candace.
Pardon?
So we'll go easy on you. Then all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, now, as we do at the end of every school year, we have before us a list of gifts, grants, and donations that have to be officially accepted by the board. Throughout the school year, various schools receive gifts and donations from individuals, organizations, and businesses. Authorizations to receive gifts as a board function. The State Board of Accounts has agreed that a listing of all gifts received during any one year and ratified by the board would meet autumn requirements. Attached is the list by school. Detailed report is on file in the business office. Each school takes care of appropriate appreciation for any and all gifts received. And Kathy Friend is available to answer any questions. And I have to say, this is an impressive list, and some other members may want to highlight anything that they see, but PTA is prominent. A lot of money raised by our PTAs and donated to schools. But, you know, a lot of churches, you know, I see a Boyd, was it Beacon Heights Church, First Baptist Church, a Boyd, where did I see, a Boyd Lutheran Church, and in many cases, you know, Central Ministries, significant amounts of money. I mean, it is really impressive. Townhouse Retirement Center gives like $8,000 to a school.
There's so many people, businesses from the community that
Yes.
have also contributed to various causes and helping out our district and
You're right.
schools.
A lot of businesses,
And there's just no way to name them all.
No.
It's amazing the
No.
kind of community support we receive in the form of donations.
but we also see on here quite a bit, Sodexo, Sodexo provides our custodial services and has been a terrific partner since we hired them, when was that? 7 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Glenna. Anyone else want to highlight or comment? I mean, we also see Lutheran Health Services and Parkview and Target and Meyer. I mean, like you said, Glenna,
it goes on.
the list is impressive.
pages
This
and
is
pages.
probably two-sided, about 8 pages of donations. It's awesome.
One of the things, if you look at the north side, it was amazing the number of alum and just businesses around north side that when they went down to state, donated money to buy food for the kids, to buy T-shirts. And I think something we don't talk enough about, like our athletic directors and our coaches, that we don't pay a lot of money for the hours that they give to our children and somebody else's children too, but just the fact that community members and alums will come up when in times of need. One of the projects we'll talk a little bit about for next year, at the Faith Center, they're organizing to get alumni associations stronger at every single school. And Northside, which has one of the oldest and one of the strongest, I know members of that alumni association, Faith, is helping organize to try to get other alum from our district to pay it forward. So I just wanted to bring that out, that we've seen that happen several times.
Well,
from alum.
and not only athletics, but, you see in here donations to cheerleading and donations to
Baseball,
theater,
everything, yeah.
drama,
Yeah.
musical instruments, our Be Instrumental program, I think. I mean, there's some, from the Fort Wayne Community School Foundation, there are, and some schools have performing arts booster clubs too. So just, a lot of thanks here. A lot of thanks to all of our community partners. Oh, I do have one question. Does anybody know what is Skunk Works?
Skunk Work.
It is it's a club at the Career Academy. Has anybody heard of it? Well, I'll have to ask Larry.
He would know
Yeah,
everything.
find out what it is. Okay. It's under the Career Academy donation. Donation to the Skunk Works Club. I'm curious. Okay.
That's what it says.
I'll email
We'll put
it.
that in print if we can.
I'll email it.
Yeah, we'll find it out. Faye will help us figure out what that is.
Okay, so all those in favor of accepting these gifts signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Now we have a report of extracurricular account equipment purchases. Equipment purchases, including equipment recondition that costs over $500 from extracurricular funds, are subject to approval by the Board of School Trustees. The State Board of Accounts has agreed that these purchases and reconditioning may be accepted annually. And on the back of this is the report of items that have been purchased by Miami and then our 4 of our high schools for various items. We hear a motion, second.
I move approval.
Second.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Steve. Anybody have any questions? Okay, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, now we come to, and this is something new, or, okay. It's recommended that the board accept the extracurricular account reports for the first semester of the 2016-17 school year. Indiana Code 20-41-1-8 requires an accurate account of all money received and expended by the extracurricular accounts. A report of the sources of all receipts, the purposes for which the money was expended, and the balance on hand is required to be filed with the school board of trustees. All extracurricular semester reports, and this is just for the first semester of the last school year, correct?
Of
Okay.
this school year.
Were audited by the business office. The general ledger summary report of each school's accounts is provided. All extracurricular records are maintained for 5 years and are available for inspection. And Kathy Friend, our Chief Financial Officer, can answer any questions. Do we have a motion? Second?
I move approval.
Second.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Steve. I have a couple questions. So this means we eventually get the second semester report,
Yes.
like in the fall or something?
Yeah, we just actually put out the directions for everybody to turn their things in. So when we get them back, then it takes a long time to get audit through all of them, so.
And then I did, one of the high schools had an account for class of 2008 and class of 2009, and that was, not real significant, but it's not just pocket change. How long, I'm just curious how long they are allowed to maintain?
Yeah, eventually what we'll do is, if they can't get class members together to make a decision about that, we'll have them combine it into a future class or put it in their,
They can choose, does the
Well-
school choose where to put it, or?
no, we require that, I shouldn't have said it goes to a class, we require that it goes into their student activity account, so it benefits the entire school population. So, and that's a little bit older than usual, I would say.
Yeah, it was the oldest one I found. I
Yeah.
did find that
Because
unusual.
usually it might only be sitting because they're doing something, they're building up the money for something, but, no, that one should be going away.
Okay.
What school did you say that was at? Did you say?
I think it
Well,
was,
don't worry about it, we'll look for it, but, yeah, that's unusual.
it's North Side.
Okay.
Yeah, North Side. Yeah, but that was the oldest one I found.
So we will be seeing this report again in 6 months?
Yes, yes.
I think that as a challenge to board members, instead of printing this out at 75 pages long,
In
that-
fact, we wanted to, we will put this on 365, when you all get,
Awesome.
connected that, we'll put that out there.
we'll make Tom make sure that he goes to his computer and open it up.
Yeah, we really saved a lot, this is like
That's
cartons
like
and cartons of paper.
I
small
will read
tree.
every item, I promise.
Yes. No, that would be our intent, that we
Thank you.
give it to you
Okay.
that way.
It's already out there, Barb says.
Oh, it is?
Since it was the first one, we thought we would print it out for you, so you could see what it was that the school provided us.
What's receipt/JV? What's JV mean?
Well, it could be a JV team.
Well, receipts and disbursements, I understand, but what's receipt/JV disbursements/JV?
What school are you on?
All, everyone.
It's probably journal voucher or something to that effect.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. If anyone wants a peek at the vast amount of accounts and, clubs and extracurriculars that require extra funds, these are interesting reading. Okay, no other questions? All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that brings us to the end of the meeting. We don't have any reports. Our next meeting will be in 2 weeks, June 26th. Board member comments?
Yes, thank you. 2 items to share with members of the board and the audience. We were notified in early June, I believe, of the fact that 10 Northside students will be attending a summer academy at IU Bloomington. The program is called the Belfer Scholars Academy. It's a one-week program open to seniors to be who are on a college track, have good grades. One hurdle they have to clear is they have to write a 500 to 1,000 word personal statement. And writing is very challenging for anyone. I don't care how old or young you are. So over the past 4 years, I've, in my role as Executive Director of Latinos Count, we've worked with the guidance counselors at all of the schools and have encouraged all minority students to apply. So 10 students are going to occupy 80 positions in the program, which I think is very, very impressive. And I just wanted to read their names because they had a little help from Phyllis Bush, a retired English teacher from Southside. And we went into the schools a couple of times in, I believe, March, and then Phyllis followed up with each student by email to get these statements down. But the 10 students from Northside that will be attending are Jasha Alexander, Kishwanra Burnett, Leslie Cardenas, Trinity Carter, Ana Martinez, Siktama Mon, Jessica Ramirez, Erwin Cerratos, Callista Terlasky, and Stefan Towns. So it's pretty good. We worked with Matt Leopold, the guidance coordinator, and Vanessa Steinberg, and they were very helpful in getting the students together. One of the other promises we've made to the students is that we're going to set up a job shadowing experience for each of them based upon their career track. In fact, one of them, Trinity Carter, spent some time during spring break. She wants to work for an advertising agency, so we set her up with a morning with the Asher Agency and had time with Tom Borney and Kara Kelly, the number 1 and 2 people at the agency. And afterwards, Trinity sent me a note. She said, now more than ever, I know that I want to work for an agency. So we've promised the other 9 students an opportunity to do that, exploring and to see if what they think they want to do is actually what they want to do. But great group of kids, and I know that I've talked to kids who've been to this program, and they come back convinced more than ever that they do want to go to school, leave Fort Wayne and go somewhere. So it's a great program. Last week, I was also with some of our guidance counselors and Shanita Piper and Martin Murphy, and we toured 2 businesses, Sweetwater and then Parkview. And we had a chance to go through both facilities. And then we talked to Jeff McDonald, the Vice President of HR at Sweetwater, and then a panel of Parkview employees, and great advice for counselors about what is required of them. And then they also had some general advice for students who get to that point where they're actually looking for jobs. And it's some of the basics that sometimes we all overlook, but they said that to make sure that students have an appropriate voicemail message, email address, and ringtone. So if you've ever called somebody and those were not appropriate, they advised the counselors to advise their students
Right, right.
to make sure that they check that. They also encouraged our counselors to either schedule and in partnership with businesses, mock interviews and resume writing. And so, some of the basics, but I think that along with what they saw in both an interesting field in what Sweetwater does and then in healthcare was really, really good for the counselors and allowed me to take a look at what's happening. Parkview Randalia is not the same place. If you haven't been there, it is really, really changing. The demand for healthcare services is booming. So it was a great opportunity. We're going to continue to do that, I believe, in trying to get our counselors into businesses so that when they sit down with a student and begin to talk about careers, they could say, well, I was at Parkview last week or recently, and here's what I saw. No guessing about what it's like in our high-growth, high-skill companies, and so they were great visits. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
I just want to say congratulations to all our graduates who graduated this past weekend. That was always, again, very rewarding to be there to see some of the graduates walk across stage and get their diplomas. And then have a great summer. Those who are coming back next year, we'll see you then.
Well, I have a few comments I want to share, a couple things I wrote down. On Saturday, I attended my first Fort Wayne Community School commencement or graduation, and I really feel now like I'm initiated into Fort Wayne Community Schools. It was very, very important for me to be there. And it truly was an honor and a privilege to represent the board at this graduation ceremony. But I want to take a moment to tell you what impressed me the most. And it was something that happened just before the official public ceremony began. As the students were assembled off stage, so to speak, getting ready to process out, the principal, David West, made a few comments, shared some thoughts with the students, probably one of the last times as that senior class was together he would ever speak to them, of course. And he really had some good parting words to share with them that really, really impressed me. Among his comments was one thing that he told them that if they ever needed help, advice, or guidance as they face new challenges and tough decisions, and they don't know what to do or who to talk to or where to go, they can always call their alma mater and ask for help. Man, that really impressed me because I know sometimes people are out there, kids, adults as well, you don't know who to turn to, where to go. And I hope they remember that. And I hope that, the people who are hearing me say this on TV, parents and friends of students and family members, remember that, if that student is having a hard time, something, they can always turn back to their alma mater for help. I just thought that offer was priceless. I hope the students remember that because there'll be some of them will have challenges and think, where do I go? Who do I talk to? And hopefully they'll remember what the principal said. I guess I now understand that Fort Wayne Community Schools is a true community family, there to help each other, even after you've gone, matriculated. I think that's the right word, isn't it? Well, anyway, that so impressed me. And I just want people who are listening to know that if you know a student who's having a hard time after they got out of high school, have them call the school. The principal said there could be a counselor there, a teacher, a coach, a custodian, somebody who can step up to the plate and help them. I was greatly impressed and really proud of that. That's all, Julie.
Thanks, Tom.
All I can tell you is I'm on day 3 of a graduate, and they change.
For the better, right?
We're waiting and seeing. That's all I have.
Okay, just a warning.
Congratulations, graduates. Best wishes, parents.
Dr. Robinson?
Just really wanted to thank the board for being there to see us at our best. The other part of my thank you is for all of the folks who really are not in schools every single day. I think half of Grile stayed with us for 2 days to help get everybody where they needed to be. But the folks who show up at graduation, the adults involved, you can just see the pride. And I witnessed several people fixing shirts and making sure the shoes were the right color, and a couple of kids, of course, not their fault, weren't there to line up one time, and people had Kleenex out, and it just is a family event, and I just appreciate you being there to see the result of 13 years of work. But I'm always amazed because yesterday several people said to me, "Oh, graduations are over, you have the rest of the summer." I laugh. We have already begun working on next year. We've got a couple of in-service, as they used to call them, but we call them professional learning opportunities. And so I'll be getting with board members. I gave you those dates earlier, but we've changed a little bit of the content. So we'll be starting probably in August, talking about some of those projects that we had discussed at our work session. Some of them are taking shape on us for us to be able to talk about them. So lips are a little tired after last weekend, but
After 5 graduations?
yes,
I don't
but
know how you do it.
They were worth it. They were worth it.
You know, we got out of Snyder's graduation, and there's your, you know, for the president, they used to call it the bag man. There's her bag man, and she takes off her Snyder, what do you call that thing, and put on the Wayne one and hop into a golf cart and on to the next graduation.
But it's
Pretty
worth it.
funny.
So, thank you. But again, thank you for being there, and thank everybody else who came to support kids and their families.
You know, Julie, one thing I wanted to add, one other word, what I was referring to, what David West said. He also said that Fort Wayne Community Schools is a safe place that people can come back to. I meant to use those words, I just forgot to say it. They need to know it's a safe place.
You know, along those lines, there was a really neat article in the Journal Gazette about the 2 Snyder students, Grant and Madison, was Wallace, that, you know, guys are supposed to wear like a dress shirt and a tie for graduation, and so they took it upon themselves to collect, and evidently they collected quite a number of dress shirts and ties and brought them over to the Fort Wayne Community School clothing bank. And so I would imagine, you know, those are not only available for graduation, but they're also available for kids that might have job interviews or that kind of thing, that maybe, you know, that can't afford one or just have never shopped for one for whatever reason. So, you know, that, I just wanted to give a shout out to them. That was a really neat thing that they decided to do on their own. I also want to just mention, and I don't make any endorsement whatsoever, but for those who are interested, you know, the City Council this week is going to be taking comments on a proposed increase in the local income tax, and that increase, which is, I think it's 0.15%, is that correct? And that goes for, that's going to go for alley improvements, sidewalk improvements, and they have worked with us to kind of target areas, you know, close to schools that might need sidewalks. And then, of course, the riverfront. So if that's something, and again, I'm not endorsing it one way or the other, but you have this opportunity this week to let your councilmen know what you think about that. And the vote then is on June 27th. And the other interesting thing that was in the news this week was there was a charter school that was started in 2012 called Carpe Diem. And those of us in Fort Wayne are kind of familiar with that. It's a blended school, which means kids spend half of their time with, half their time sitting at a little cubicle staring at a computer screen, and then the other half of their time maybe in small groups or whatever groups. I think Carpe Diem bragged that, you know, this allowed them to keep their teacher-to-student ratio 60 students to every 1 teacher. Well, it turns out that not a lot of students really want this blended curriculum, so the Indiana Charter Board recommended that the original campus, the Meridian campus, be closed. The reason we've heard of it, when was that, 3 years ago, that Carpe Diem tried to come to Fort Wayne? And I remember going to the hearing that they had down at the summit on Rudisill, and I remember 2 things. I remember Mr. Giaquina almost coming to blows with the founder of Carpe Diem from Arizona, and I also remember the rather impassioned defense of traditional public education by Matt Schiebel, principal then at Shawnee. And, you know, he really talked about how his students were able to take part in show choir and band and athletics, and they got art and music and physical education. And those are things that you just don't get when you're sitting staring at a computer screen for half the day. So needless to say, Carpe Diem never made it to Fort Wayne. They saw that there was not really a market for them, and it turns out there may not be much of a market for them in Indianapolis. And again, that's, in my opinion, that's just no way to run a school system where schools just open and close at the will of the market. It's, you know, displaces families, displaces students, displaces teachers, and it's just not a good way to run a school system. So, that's all I
Julie, if
have.
I could, along those lines, we sent something to you. If it didn't come today, it'll be in your email tomorrow. One of the victims of the proposed budget by the president will be Title II. And Title II is a fund that we use for our professional learning support for all of our staff members. But it's just one of the ways, some of the things we highlighted when we had our professional learning work session. We pay for that support for teachers and administrators and students. June 14th, which is this Wednesday, and in the email, it'll give you all the contact information. And it's a national push across all kinds of educational organizations to write the appropriations committee. So we're sending you also the names of the representatives. They have talking points, they have a sample letter, because in particular, public schools, such as Fort Wayne Community Schools, will be dead in the water and not be able to afford some of the supports we've given to our administrators and our teachers if Title II is cut at the level that it has been proposed. So we'll get that information out to you. I wanted to say that to anybody listening. We're going to send it to all of our principals. We're sending it to our instructional coaches.
Hopefully, we'll get that information out to PTAs, too.
We need to get it out to,
because
right.
those stories from parents, you know, are sometimes the most powerful.
Right. So the turnaround's a little narrow, but it won't take you long to write the truth. And so board members, we'll get that to you. If it's not in your inbox now, it will be first thing in the morning. And we really need to push that. They need to hear that that's funding we can't afford to have cut.
Okay?
Move for adjournment?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. The microphone is open for anyone who would